Ramble was created to explore the human side of the music industry from an Appalachian perspective. On today's episode, I met with Candace Barbee, the marketing and PR director and booking agent for The Grove in Glasgow, Kentucky. The Grove is a seasonal venue that has been recognized as one of Kentucky's most unique venues. It could possibly be the first treehouse venue. It sits in a wooded area in the back of a parking lot in a small rural town 30 minutes outside of Bowling Green. I had the pleasure of visiting The Grove on opening night back in April, where Town Mountain was headlining and Lexington favorite Brother Smith was opening. It was a memorable experience, as if I was watching music in my own backyard. Candace and I discussed creating community through music, the importance of independent venues, and how venues can support local musicians. Take a listen to our conversation.
Thank you so much, really, for meeting with me.
Oh my God,
Again.
We'll
get it.
Yes, thank you for coming down. I really appreciate it.
I know I tell you, but I'm such a fan of yours, and I'm a fan of The Grove and what you're doing.
So sweet.
But let's talk a little bit about you first, and then we could talk about The Grove.
Okay.
And one question we always ask is what is your earliest music memory?
My earliest music memories are my dad playing music in our home. My dad doesn't really play music that much anymore, but he's a very talented songwriter. And I always tried my best to accompany him, even though I didn't know how to play an instrument yet. Just like banging on the high end of the piano and, teaching me how to strum a guitar and that type thing. I grew up with a musical family, and of course, singing in church and stuff. Those are my earliest musical memories.
And you're also a songwriter?
I am. just as a hobby. I always tell people I'm a closet musician.
Yeah. Did you start writing, were you writing at a really young age? Just
not songs per se, like a lot of people do. I just started out with silly little poems and stuff. I remember whenever my little cousin was born, he was my first younger cousin, and I just thought that he was the greatest thing in the world. I still do. But I wrote a little poem song about him, and I'm pretty sure it's still folded up and in the piano still somewhere at my parents' house. But just stuff like that, I've always written a lot about nature and animals, and just I don't know. I was a very philosophical child, I guess. I was an only child up until the time I was 15, so I had a very vivid imagination. But I got my first guitar whenever I was 19, and that's after I got my first guitar is whenever I wrote my first song. So,
do you see yourself? You play out though, have you played out
here and there? I've done a couple of things here and there. I do play out here and there if it fits my schedule and somebody asks. I don't really go looking for anything per se.
Yeah.
But sometimes things just find me, and if the vibe is right and my schedule allows, which is limited obviously, because what I do on the backside of things obviously is my priority. I much prefer to lift other people into the spotlight instead of being in it myself. But it is so fun sometimes. I always get just sick nervous beforehand. Whenever I did a songwriters round, Katie did it from Mama Said String Band and invited me to do a songwriters night in this beautiful venue called the Monarch.
Oh yeah. I just
recently
went
a
couple weeks
Isn't
ago.
It amazing?
What they're doing is
I was just
fantastic.
Completely blown away by everything that they were doing. So shout out Monarch.
Yes.
Please go there for anybody that's listening.
Yeah. Even just the backyard, but the venue itself, and then just the space.
I know, the whole thing. It was forever. I was there for the longest time before I even walked out back, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But I was talking to my fiance beforehand. I was like, I think that I might throw up just at like any given moment. It's fine. But then after I do it, I'm just like, of course, on such a high. And everybody there was so kind, and I've never had a bad experience or anything. It's just, you know, my own nerves. You're your own worst critic. But I'm always happy after I do it.
Yeah. And then talk a little bit about what, like, your background and how you came to the Grove.
That's an interesting story. I wanted to be a vet all throughout my childhood. Up until I was in college, I was pre-vet. And, you know, I have half of a biology degree. It's kind of funny. But I started going to music festivals in my early 20s. And after my first festival, I was like, this is it. You know, this is what I want to do forever. I just want to make what I felt happen for other people. You know what I mean? I knew immediately that's what I wanted to spend the rest of my life doing in some way, shape, or form. And I switched my major to PR. I went to Western, WKU, go Tops. And I minored in folk studies, which didn't make sense to a lot of people at the time. They're like, why don't you do marketing or advertising or something like that? But doing what I'm doing now, it makes total sense. And I never would have fallen in love with bluegrass and roots music if I hadn't have taken that path as a minor. So it all worked out like it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you come to the Grove for the first time.
Yes. So
COVID
era. The Grove itself was a COVID project. And my title here is a marketing director and booking agent. I wear, you know, some more hats than that. You know, I'm always the day of show contact. I'm here on site to, you know, help out with whatever needs be done. It's funny because whenever they send in like the contract and ask for production contact and marketing contact, I'm like, Candace Barbee, Candace Barbee. Like, I'm sorry, please don't freak out. I promise I'll get it done. But yes, this was a COVID project in the beginning. The family that owns the property has the business across the parking lot, and that had to be closed down during COVID. Of course, there was no safe way to keep that going. So Jason, my boss, Jason Kuykendall, he was a festival frequenter and, you know, really passionate about live music. He decided he was going to build a stage back here. And everybody at first was like, oh, yeah, of course, Jason, you know, you go for it, you know. And he did. He got out here and hacked down a thicket, literally. That's what he said. It was therapeutic almost to come out here and, you know, just like clean out the woods. And I would love to see pictures of it, you know, before it was cleaned out. Yeah. When I got here, which I had a friend that was playing here, they just had like a little PA set up on a platform that wasn't even that large. They've expanded it since then. It was so small, I'll tell you, that the pergola that is over the entrance now, they had it rolled over the top of the stage as a cover.
It's like a duo only.
Yeah.
That's max.
Yeah, exactly. But my friend texted me and was like, Leslie's playing in this place outside in Glasgow. Do you want to go? I was like, yeah, I'm intrigued. You know, like, what else am I doing, you know, on an October night in 2020? Nothing. Nobody was. But I got here and I walked through the front gate, and I've never felt like such a level of conviction about anything. I grew up really religious too. I'll say that. It's just like, this has to be something. You know what I mean? There was just that little platform, and they had a PA set up. There was a fire pit right in the middle of like where our viewing area is now, like over towards the side of the bar. And the roof wasn't over the bar yet. They had literally like just built the bar into the trees, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll show you some pictures of it sometime, because I took a ton of pictures the first time I was here. I was like, this place is amazing. Yeah. Use these pictures, you know, like all of the things. I wasn't hunting for a job at all. I had kind of taken a placeholder job in small market TV while I was waiting for the industry to recover, because I had been in a full-time position with Danny Wimmer Presents for like 3 months when COVID hit. It's like, we love you, but sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still do contracted stuff, here and there for them whenever I have time. They're an amazing team of people. But yeah, it was kind of a weird happenstance, literally in the right place at the right time, because I just got to talking to Jason, and he was like, what are you doing in like a couple weeks? You want to like sit down and like, toss some ideas around? I was like, oh, I think he's trying to give me a job.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so then it all kind of happened from there, and he hired me on full time at the beginning of 2021, and I did all of our branding and set up social media accounts and the whole thing.
Wow.
Now we have almost 9,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
3
that's
years,
amazing.
or not Instagram, Facebook. Instagram's the devil. We've only got like 2,000 on there. That algorithm's hateful.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's how it all happened.
What are do you have any, you have like a most memorable or one of your most memorable nights so far in the last 3 years?
There's a few. I think for me, the most powerful moment that I have experienced so far was whenever Sam Bush was here last May, which was almost a year ago exactly. He was here on Memorial Day weekend. He, of course, was in a band called Newgrass Revival previously to his solo career, and it was founded right here in this area. Dr. Dobro is what he's known as. His name is Curtis Birch. I actually interviewed him whenever I did an ethnographic project about bluegrass jam circles. Whenever I was in college, he met me at Judy's Castle Diner in Bowling Green that isn't even there anymore.
That's amazing.
The whole thing is just like nostalgia all over the place. But, he sat across the table from this clueless kid, this Grammy Award-winning artist that's been on the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou album and everything else, and it's just telling me all of this stuff, and it was amazing. I was just completely enamored by him and everything that he had to say. But he came to the show. There was a guy named Kelsey Cruz that's in a band called Green River Review. They were opening for him, and the two of them are really close. I think that Curtis is a big mentor of Kelsey's as well. So he came to obviously see both of the bands, and he messaged me on Facebook and was like, "Can I buy a ticket? I know that it's sold out." I was like, "Absolutely not, Curtis Birch. Your money is no good here."
That's
like,
amazing.
You send me your email and I'll send you a ticket right now. But I got really emotional just like watching them like chit-chatting and catching up backstage. It's just like the most full circle moment for me, and to see this place packed full of people.
Oh yeah,
it was.
That's amazing.
Just thinking about it. That is probably the most powerful moment here that I've experienced so far.
Yeah, that'd be pretty hard to top. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine. That's pretty cool. I mean, when you look back on life, not to get like, I don't know, we can. Just life in general, when you really are just surviving, you don't even know what's going on, where you're going to be, what you're going to do, and just to be able to look back on experiences to be like, oh, that was setting me up. That
100%.
That's amazing.
I have a 2-hour interview with JT Gray, like,
wow,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And looking back on that and like thinking about it now, I'm like, God, you were so clueless.
Yeah.
Just like which I was completely taken with Station Inn as soon as I walked in, because you could just tell that everything from the original hardwood floors to the posters all over the walls. I found myself just really falling in love with the concept of a music venue and building that into something special and specific. And obviously building a community of people around that. It was just, And I never, ever thought in a million years I'd be sitting where I'm sitting now and jumped on a startup project and have had the opportunity to get to watch it grow.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I get to continue to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, it's so much deeper when you're just talking about community and music. I don't even understand how people survive without seeing live music like that.
Me either.
How are you even, like, where does your energy, like, how are you surviving?
I know.
But just like such magical moments with other people, with the bands, just the interaction to see them and if you get to talk to them. Like, what else are people doing?
I know.
What are people doing?
It's hard to imagine. Is in the off season, you know, I get hungry.
Yeah. Oh,
you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I gotta get to a show.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like going to church. You know what I mean? I'm not a religious person, but music is my religion. You know?
I feel that very deeply too. I mean, in a very healing, deep sense.
Yeah.
In like my darkest hours, I was listening to probably one song for weeks.
100%. For me, it's Brandy Carlisle.
Yeah.
It's like, I get down in a spot and I'm like, okay, Brandy, let's go.
Yeah. Prepare. It's like a whole like cycle to get through and you're ready for it.
Exactly. I don't take it for granted. That's for sure. I don't take the position that I'm in lightly, and I try very hard to, you know, obviously we're a small team of people, and, you know, there is a ton of weight on my shoulders, but I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I knew what I was walking into whenever I took this job, but it's a powerful thing to know that for a few hours we can just provide somebody with an escape into this beautiful little oasis that's just tucked away in the middle of Glasgow, Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know, I said in an interview recently that we just want to be an extension of everybody's backyard.
Oh, that's good.
That's exactly what we want to be here.
That is what it feels like.
Yeah.
The night that I was here, your opening night, I'm glad where I was at doing merch to look out at the crowd just to see how happy everybody was.
Chills.
Yeah. People were happy and dancing, or just like seeing people's faces and interacting like that. It is a magical place.
It's a cool place to spot, or a cool place to sit, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about you being physically in that position and, you know, kind of observing everything from that angle, but it's a cool thing.
Oh yeah.
Did you have fun?
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah.
I'm so glad.
It was, thank you for letting me come.
Oh my God.
So
of
glad.
course.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah. The music was fantastic. Love Brother Smith. Town Mountain's always great.
Yes. That show was so much fun. And everybody had a ball too. And I'm just tickled to death just watching everybody have a good time. You know?
Oh, yeah. What else is going on? What's going on this summer? What should people be looking
to? Lots of stuff going on this summer. We've got 2 more shows this month. I've got a great local country artist. He's toured all over the place. Rye Davis is his name, and his wife Brandy, she co-writes a ton of his songs with him. Amazing songwriter, both of them are. But I've always got to prop up my women songwriters, you know. But she's gonna do a little opening set for him, and then we've got like a little like a British invasion 60s tribute night coming up at the end of the month. The band is called 6 Gun 5, and they all play like time appropriate instruments and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. So looking forward to that. And then June is a huge month. We've got a rock show the first Saturday. Actually, it's the Georgia Thunderbolts and a killer local band called the Damn Shames is going to open for them. They pivoted from just like a straight rock band to making like Americano, like Southern rock music, and it is so good. Clayton Crowder does the majority of the songwriting, if not all of it. He could be doing all of it, I don't know. But he's one of the best songwriters in this area, hands down. And I recommend those guys to everybody, and they're finally starting to get like picked up. They opened for the Cadillac 3 recently, and they're playing the Burl at the end of August, I think.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, I felt like I saw their name. I looked at the other day.
I can't remember who they're opening for now. I'm blanking, but I always try to get my local bands in there opening for, you know, somebody that's more well known. Georgia Thunderbolts are obviously from Georgia.
Yeah, yeah.
But and the next weekend, I've got Lily Hyatt coming on the 14th, and the amazing Leah Blevins. I'm just such a fan of hers, and I'm lucky enough to call her a friend too. Yeah. She's just amazing. Both of them are. I haven't gotten a chance to meet Lily yet, but I'm sure that I'm gonna love her. She's so talented. I've been a fan of hers for a long time. And it's a big weekend because then the very next night, the 15th, I've got the Del McCurry band and Wyatt Ellis coming.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's like a big hot commodity in the bluegrass scene right now. Yeah. He's like a 15-year-old mandolin prodigy.
Yeah. He's so fun to watch.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine being 15? He's like with all the greats.
I know.
He's around everyone.
He's already like, he's got just like a Rolodex of literally the who's who of bluegrass. I'm like, man, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool to see.
I was joking with somebody the other day. I was like, we like to keep our age ranges dynamic. We've got like a 70-year age gap between our opener and the headliner.
That's amazing.
Of course, Dell's a living legend. He's been in the game for like 50 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that.
Just another meaningful thing of the work that you're doing is like the next generation.
Yes.
Not even of viewers, just like younger people coming and viewing, but also the musicians.
Yes. Yeah, I'm all for that. Somebody asked me the other day a similar question to yours, like, what's your favorite part, you know, about being at shows and watching the kids at these shows. It's just it just lights my heart all the way up, watching them dancing in front of the stage, and they'll never forget that. You know, it's like, man, Mom used to take me to this cool place called the Grove, and those are their first shows. You know, like, oh my God, like it's such a huge thing. I know it was for me anyway. I would have loved to have had a place like this to come to when I was a kid. So kids 12 and under are always free at the Grove. You know, being an all ages venue was something that I felt really passionate about.
It's good too, like what I appreciate about what you're doing. I think it's easy for booking agents when they're booking for a venue to like forget. Well, for one, we're super fortunate to have so much talent in our state.
We really are.
But sometimes our local talent's overlooked because we're always, you know, the booking. You're looking out. Who can I bring in? It's amazing that we do have so much talent to support or sometimes headline. And
it's always a goal for me to try to merge the two whenever possible. Like, you know, the Georgia Thunderbolts and the Damn Shames is a perfect example, but you know, I've got a lot of dream pairings in my head. And I'm like, if I booked this person, I would have this person open for them, you know, because that's it. To me, that's the best gift that you could ever give an artist is to let them open for somebody that they admire. And not only that, but, you know, get them in front of a captive audience that are truly interested in what they're doing. And the people that come through these gates are here for the music and for the experience. And that's more than anybody could ever ask for.
That's what's sometimes disheartening, just talking to musicians. Like when they go to certain venues and it's like no one's listening. That's so hard.
We've got John Moreland coming here on the 8th, and I completely skipped over that weekend. And usually I'm great about like running through my calendar. Like that makes me feel terrible. But John Moreland and Ken Pomeroy, who is really making waves right now too. She's incredible. I will literally be like threatening to kick people out if they're loud during his set. Like, John is speaking. Be quiet.
That's amazing.
I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a lot of people excited for that show. what a perfect environment for his music too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, no talking during that one.
Yeah, surely. It's important to talk about women in the industry, and hopefully people aren't too tired of hearing that, but it's something that needs to be, people should be aware of it. But Tiffany Finley, our mutual friend, she kind of got us together.
She did.
Who's a great example of just people, women making things happen in music.
Yes.
You, her, all kinds of people.
To even be mentioned in the same breath as Tiffany is just like, please don't do that. I'm not worthy.
Just her also bringing other women together. That's what I texted her after I met with you, and I was like, can we have a day where just like women and music, can we just get together?
Let's do it here.
Should we? Let's organize it. We could just have a day. I don't know.
I would
do
love
whatever.
that. No, like I'm trying to be Tiffany Finley when I grow up.
Oh yeah,
you know
for sure.
mean?
Yes,
we're both going to NEVA conference at the beginning of the year. We're members of the National Independent Venue Association. Amazing organization. I've enjoyed the conference. The last time I went, this will only be my second year going, but it's in New Orleans this year, and we're both going because she is, newly the elected.
Oh yes, that's right.
The president of the Kentucky chapter, which is
wild.
also brand new. Originally, Indiana and Kentucky's chapter of NEVA was merged together, so she's at the helm now, Captain Tiff, just knocking it out of the park. But I'm excited to do that with her. That'll be a lot of fun.
What are some of the things that, so like as an independent venue, what are some, obviously, like tell me about like the core values and goals of that. I don't.
Well, obviously the industry is very monopolized right now. The Live Nation and Ticketmaster merger never should have happened. And everybody is now realizing that.
Yeah.
They've been under investigation by the DOJ a couple different times now, and it's like dismantlings don't happen very often, and especially on that level. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities, and that's the great thing about organizations like NEVA is they have people in lobbying positions that is bringing these things to legislature's attention. Like something needs to be done. At the end of the day, it is the ticket purchasers and the artists that are being affected.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times the artists don't even have any kind of choice as to who that they get to use whatever they're ticketing their shows, because Live Nation owns so many of the venues. And I understand needing software with big capabilities, but there's a lot of growing options out there as far as ticketing options outside of Ticketmaster, and we do have a bill out there right now that we're trying to get passed. It's called Fix the Ticks. So it's lobbying for transparency, more than anything. The hidden fees and the just crazy amounts that they are. And
is that like purposeful secondary sales too? I've read a little bit about that.
All of the bots and that type thing. Yes, it's insane the way that it all happens. I'm in the process of getting my master's in communications right now, and both two of my 3 big projects that I have done are about Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're amazing.
Oh,
how do you have time? How do you have time for everything?
Well,
and you're
I'm really not
engaged. Just so much stuff.
I try, man. It's this is my life. It's I'm a Capricorn. I will admit, and in fact, this evening I'm going to an event with this cool organization called Cultivate BG. It's all women based. It's like either people that are in ownership or leadership positions. And it's like really creatively driven too. But it is about work burnout and work-life balance. And I was on the phone with my fiance. I was like, I'm going to go to this thing from 5:30 to 6:30 tonight. I'm excited about it. And he was like, what's it about? And I told him, and he was like, oh, good. He's like, honey, I love you, but you really need that. I'm like, I know.
And with this new addition, what's the capacity of the Grove?
600.
Yeah. That's wild. Just in the back of a parking lot in the woods.
It's wild, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tucked away back here. If I had $1 for every time this venue had been called a hidden gem.
Yeah,
it's like,
it really is.
Not only are we new and people are still kind of finding out about us, but it's literally hidden.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's behind the building. There's a huge warehouse in front of us.
Yeah, it was a cool article. The photographer that was here that opening night,
Lucas Hughes.
Lucas.
Yes. Shout out Lucas.
I know. Good job, Lucas. His pictures were great, but they were right up. And
Ballad Magazine.
Yeah, Ballad Magazine. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. Yes. That was a good read.
And I'm really excited because we're about to be featured in the Uniquely Kentucky column of Kentucky Living.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about that.
Yeah.
But it's nice, you know, that because it really is. So I mean, that's a perfect column for this because it is so unique. You know, there's I've literally Googled treehouse and music venue. You know, it's like you can't really
doesn't exist.
But outside of being a music venue, I also want us to be, you know, a community hub because we've had everything here from, you know, chamber networking events to back to school bashes.
Oh, nice.
And like all kinds of different things. And this morning I announced a partnership with our local public library where we're doing a story time in the treehouse.
That's so cool.
We're calling it Tales from the Treehouse.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It just like, I think that all of my ideas come to me. I don't know about you, but they always come to me like if I'm driving, in the shower, you know, just like doing something that is not sitting at my desk because I'm super ADHD, so I have to literally like hone in on the thing that I'm doing or the three things that I'm doing because usually I'm bouncing back and forth because I'm a squirrel in my brain. But all I could think about was the Magic Treehouse books. Did you read those when you were a kid? And I was like, oh, we have to do story time in the Grove. Nice. And I contacted the library and they were just over the moon excited about it. And they're like, yes, we'd love to do that. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a weekly theme and it's going to be a lot of fun. The first one's camping.
Oh, fun.
I'm like, how perfect, you know?
Yeah.
It's all kinds of like different outdoor themes.
Yeah. The public library always has great summer programs if people take advantage of it. There's so much talent there that's often overlooked because I mean I definitely don't think a library is outdated. I have to read paper books. Like I can't read on a device or anything.
Not a Kindle
I just like
person.
the smell, the feel. So
me too. I love old books and I'm highly allergic to mold.
What's going on? What's the future of the Grove? What are some longer term projects or goals that you have coming up or working towards?
Well, as an independent venue, my first answer is simply survive. You know, because unfortunately that's always a worry in your mind. It's like, what if enough people don't show up and we don't make it, you know? But I really do believe in the community that we have built and are still building, that, you know, they'll show up for us and just, you know, keep on keeping on with what we're doing, you know, obviously, you know, just still bringing quality entertainment to the community, introducing people to up and coming artists. You know, that's always a passion of mine, and continuing to support local artists and other local businesses. I love collaborating with, you know, other local attractions, and, you know, this is a really cool area. We've got a lot of really cool stuff to do around here. So you can make a whole weekend out of South Central Kentucky if you wanted to. You could go to Mammoth Cave and hike during the day, and then come here for a show at night. But just becoming, more immersed in the community and just becoming a staple and helping put little old Glasgow, Kentucky on the map.
Yeah, you're doing it. It's done.
Thank
it's
you.
Done.
We're trying our best, but
is the county tourism growing? Like, have you?
Our local tourism entities are absolutely amazing. Definitely want to give a shout out to McLean Lessenberry while I'm on here. She's the director for Glasgow Barron County Tourism, and she is very young to be in the position that she is in, and she is an absolute rock star. Awesome. I'm not from Glasgow. I live in Bowling Green. My dad actually graduated from Barron County High School, which is kind of funny, but I didn't really know a lot of people here, and she was one of the first people that I met and just like welcomed me so warmly, like, I'm so glad that, you're in this position, and I think you're going to kill it. And I hope that I've met her expectations.
Oh, yeah, you have.
But she is she's a warrior for our community. She's, all over the place all the time, representing us, and, all of the cool things to do around here.
Yeah.
When you live in a place for so long, you're always looking out, like we were talking about earlier, and like, oh, I should go to this place and do that. But I have, and especially since, working for an attraction myself, I feel the need to explore places that are within driving distances of me, and just learn more about, the people there, and the different things to do, and, just extend a friendly hand to a neighbor. That's what Kentucky's supposed to be. We're Southern.
Yeah, I mean, it is just like the importance of, not necessarily, collaboration too, but just the importance of, I always talk about where I come from. It's, more East Kentucky, that there's such a scarcity mindset where, if you're doing something out of the box or new, I mean, it's everywhere, I'm aware, but
sure.
It was just really hard to organize anything there, even just community music, just if it was something a little different or someone didn't even understand what you're doing. But since moving to I say this all the time, since moving to Lexington, it's like my world has changed, and I'm sure it's in Lexington, but specifically with the music scene, I've never felt like, for one, I've never met so many wonderful people than the Kentucky music scene, but just the support, the camaraderie, the support has been like life-changing to me, because I just felt very alone and struggling by myself, and then you come 2 hours not far, and it's like, there's more people like me.
Yes.
Like,
I can't tell you how many times I've felt that exact same feeling, and I just, right before you got here, I got off the phone with a radio DJ. Well, he's much more than a DJ. He is on air, but he wears a lot of different hats for that station, in Breckinridge County. The only thing that I know of in Breckinridge County is my friend Josh Mitchum's venue, the Randall Barn, which is super cool. It's beautiful. I'll send you a picture of it and some info about it after we get done, because you would love it. But just like the warmest welcome, it's like, we have been looking for somebody like you, and we didn't even know that you were there. Like, I'm so excited that you reached out to us. And it's just so great, whenever you make those connections like that, you're like, again, they're people like me. As I do. You and I are both, we're really similar in the fact that we're both very introverted and very niche in our interests. And I feel like a fish out of water a lot of times, but I don't here, and I've never felt like a fish out of water in a music venue or around people that love music. I've met so many incredible people through this job in the last 3 years. So a lot of it was just completely by accident and happenstance, you know, but everybody that crosses your path crosses it for a reason. I always try to remember that. There's always something to learn from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to the Moonlight Ramble. To find out more about the Grove, visit them on their website, Facebook, or Instagram accounts. Go out and support your local venues and musicians, and happy listening.
Okay.